Hello YouTube. So as I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to be concentrating on areas that I've gone to. I own timeshares on Hawaii, on a couple different islands. I own a whole condo on Molokai. I'm going to be concentrating on working my way through what I have, where I've been, and I'll get on some main topics for each one of those areas. And as in putting this together, I can kind of see where some of the talking points or some of the bullet points that I'm going to bring up on these videos, they can be a whole video in themselves. So after I go through those places, I'm going to come back and probably pick out some certain topics and revisit those and concentrate more and focusing on those items. And if you got any questions along the way, go ahead and leave a comment in there, and I'll get back and answer you. And if I get a lot of comments, then I'll definitely do another video and concentrate on just that one area. Because like I said, I'm sure some of these points, these bullet points I'm going to be going through, can be a video in themselves. So today's topic is going to be the Maui Schooner. And it's a timeshare that I own in Kihei. It's a small timeshare. There's only 2 buildings there. The A building is oceanfront, and it's 4 stories high, and it has elevators there, so it's nice and convenient. Then the B building overlooks the pool, and then overlooking that, when you're looking over the pool, you can see the ocean. It's angled that way. So the A building is oceanfront. There's really nothing in front of it except for a large county park, and then you get really beautiful sunsets there. And there's a tennis court in front of it also. So really nice setting in the A building. Not a lot of units there, so it's hard to get in there into the A building. And you really have to plan ahead. You can book up to 18 months in advance there at the Maui Schooner. So if you really want those high times, the peak times, which one thing about Maui is the whale season. They're famous for their whales, the whale boat trips. So in between that channel between Maui and Molokai, it can be whale soup in the winter time, starting in mainly in December, going through March, with January and February being the key months, because then you have snowbirds that go there also. So you really have to plan ahead. So I'll talk a little bit about timeshare in general. So there are 2 types of, there's a whole mess of types of timeshares, but the 2 main types are weeks and points type timeshares. So if you're in a points system, that's more set up for smaller trips. So you can go weekends. If you want to save points, you can just concentrate on Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, because of course the Friday, Saturday, Sunday take up the most points. So weeks timeshare is just what it says. It's a whole week, and each timeshare is different, so you have to look at it. Some of them have Friday, Saturday, Sunday check-in. Some of them have a Wednesday, Saturday check-in. So you have to keep that in mind when you're looking. I'm going to concentrate here on the Maui Schooner, which has a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday check-in. So you can plan accordingly. Sometimes you can get better flight deals on a Sunday, that type of thing. So Maui Schooner is a week's ownership, and I have a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom there, so I own 2 weeks at the Maui Schooner. The 1-bedroom week that I own is every other year. It's on the even years. So in association with the timeshare, you have to pay a maintenance fee, and that is pooled together, and the money's divvied out to make sure that the units are upkept and paying the bills for the whole resort. So right now at the Maui Schooner, a 1-bedroom week is about $1,000 a year, and a 2-bedroom week is about $1,500 a year. So there's about $500 difference there in the yearly fees for it. Now the only other fees that you have to pay are the Hawaii TAT tax. You pay that to the resort upon check-in or upon check-out, depending on how the resort does it. Maui's got the highest TAT tax actually, and That's usually going to run with 2 bedrooms, going to run about $60, and a 1 bedroom is going to run right around $40. So some of the other islands, it's a little bit cheaper than that. So the 2 bedroom I have is an annual week. So again, I get 1 week out of the year, I get to go for a whole week every year. And the every other year, when I'm paying the fees, they take the fees for the annual, what it would be for the annual, which would be $1,000, and they split it in half. So I pay $500 a year for my every other year week for my 1 bedroom. The 2 bedroom, of course, is $1,500 per year because I get a whole week. So planning ahead, if you're going to get a timeshare, you want to plan ahead. And you can also, you want to research them. And the main number one rule is don't buy from the developer, don't buy from the resort. You can purchase most of these places on basically used. They call it the resale market. That's what you want to do. All the timeshares that I have acquired, I didn't pay anything for. And that's when a timeshare can really make sense. When you're putting up $10,000 for the week, by the time you're paying the maintenance fees, and you have to get rid of that, you have to work that $10,000 into it. It takes a long time to recover that money. Once you get, if you get it for free like I did, you're saving money right off the bat, because you just do the math, find out how much hotel rooms go for, and it's just a hotel room. With the timeshare, you're getting a whole condo, so you're getting a kitchen, a whole separate sleeping area, whole separate living area, usually a nice lanai. The grounds usually have swimming pools and barbecues, so you have everything that you need there. So you can definitely save some money there too. Even if you go decide you're on vacation, so you don't want to do a lot of cooking, when you go out, you can bring your leftovers back, and you got a full refrigerator. You can warm them up, and you can save a lot of money that way too. And you can have that for your breakfast or whatever. So there's definitely some money savings there. But you can look on one place to look. You can look on YouTube. You can look on not YouTube, but you can look up on eBay. And there's a lot of places that sell the timeshares. So you just type in Maui Schooner. You'll see a lot of rentals on there. But every once in a while, if you keep an eye out, you'll see actually some units for sale there. And usually they don't go for a lot. Another place you can look is TUG, the Timeshare Users Group. So it's tug2.net, and I'll put the link in the description below, so you can just click on it and check that out. There's some forums where you can ask questions, and you can get a lot of information that way. That's how I learned also. So the good thing about owning a timeshare too is that you don't have to keep going to the same place all the time. You can exchange it, and there's exchange companies. So for the Maui Schooner, usually each timeshare has their own exchange company that they're affiliated with. For the Maui Schooner, it's trading places. And the good part about that is that they have a lot of different Hawaii weeks. So if you don't want to just go to Maui, you can trade. You can go to the Big Island, or you can go to Oahu, and you'll see other weeks on there that you could trade for. Now, the good thing about trading is that when you deposit your week, so you make a reservation, you call the company, they take the week for you. They'll give you 3 years to exchange that week, so you can look and see what's available, and just call them up if you see something you like, and go ahead and book it. And that fee is usually about $130. And when you end up getting that, it'll just be like checking in to any other place that you're going to go to, like going to a hotel. It's a nice thing about the timeshare compared to Airbnb or VBRO is that if you have a problem, it's just like a hotel. You go to the main desk, and the main desk will take care of your issues. So that makes it a lot easier than having to phone an owner. Owner might not be around. So that's a good thing about it. It makes them a little bit easier to rent too, compared to an Airbnb and a VRBO. You're not dealing with that middle company, and it makes it a little bit easier. Back to trading. So the good thing about owning a Hawaii week is that there's a lot of value with that. And trading places will sometimes give me, not only will they give me another week to be able to use, but they will also give me a bonus week. So it's another, so they'll give me 2 weeks for me depositing the 1 week. So that's great. So I'll be able to go to another place. So it really makes your maintenance fees go even farther because you're getting another week to use. And again, I believe, you know, trading and using these other companies, that's going to be a whole separate video by itself, and I'll get more in depth in that. We'll talk about Maui a little bit. So Maui is excellent, and it's known for whales. It is a little bit more crowded. A lot of people love going to Maui, and it's a very popular island to go to. So you really have to plan ahead, especially if you want to go in those peak times of January and February, and even around Christmas and New Year. The whales are there and the snowbirds are there. People are known to go there for 2 to 3 months at a time. It's also really good too because you can make a day trip to Lanai or Molokai. So there's you know, planes you can take. There's even a ferry that goes over to Lanai, and you can spend the day there, take some tours. Those are smaller islands. Some people like to only spend a couple days there, and that's fine, and it works out great. That's, you know, Molokai is where I own my condo. There's definitely plenty to do there. You want to relax when you go there, so you don't want to be cramming a bunch of stuff in, but you can easily spend a week and be very enjoyable, and it's very much a place to slow down and relax. There's a sign there that says, slow down, you're on Molokai. Back to the Maui Schooner too, it being in Kihei, that's the drier part of Maui, so there's not as much rain there. The good part about it is that it's really close to a lot of nice restaurants right along the coast there on the west side of Maui. Really nice area, a lot of great places to eat. You can go down, you're not very far from Big Beach, and it's really a good central location. It's really not far from the airport, and it's about 45 minutes depending on traffic to go up to Lahaina and go up to Front Street, which are some of the other things you can do there. So good location to be all around, to get around the island. If you just want to not travel very far, you know, going up to Lahaina and staying up in there, Ka'anapali Beach, that's where a lot of people go. Very expensive up there, higher end hotels. You could save a little bit of money by staying in Kihei. Things to do. So there's the famous road to Hana. When we took that ride, you can drive it yourself. And then there's there's an app you can put in your phone. It'll tell you where to stop, and it'll tell you what to look for, which is really nice. We ended up taking a tour through Valley Isle. Nice thing about that is if you're a driver, you're going to be able to see everything too. When you're driving, there's so many turns in that road that you're going to have to concentrate on driving so much, you're not going to be able to see a lot of the stuff. So the driver's going to kind of miss out a little bit. So we ended up taking a tour. We loved it. They stopped along the major points of interest, the Black Sand Beach, Lindbergh's Grave, are really nice places to stop, and they really took care of all the highlights. Then of course you can always go back. Going to Lahaina, going on Front Street, another big draw there. That's kind of it used to be an old whaling village. Great place to go and shop and check things out. A lot of nice places to eat there. The famous banyan tree is there. It's one huge tree that pretty much takes up a whole city block. Really neat to be checking out. So just to wrap up here a little bit, I'm going to be putting the links below in the description about some of the places that I talked about. I'll even put some of the exchange companies in there too. The future videos also, I'm going to get a little bit more island specific, and I can make a whole video on the Road to Hana tour, which I eventually will get to. Same thing with walking around Front Street. So as always, closing out here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll have that link there too, and ring the bell for future notifications, and that'll sum up this one. The next one I'm going to do is going to be the Pono Kai, which is going to be on Kauai, or which is on Kauai, and so I will concentrate on that resort, how that resort works a little bit, and the island of Kauai a little bit. And after that, then I'm going to hit Molokai, and I'll talk about that island and our condo there. So all that, those things, I'll put links in the bottom, and so you want to have those notifications on, so you'll be able to check out those videos when they come out. All right, aloha.